Well, do you want to explain what happened there, Max?
I don't know, it just stopped.
He reports it just stopped. Let's take a look. I said, do we have power? He said, no. We turn the key. We got no power. So I'm like, okay. Well, that ain't right. Maybe the battery come disconnected. Oh, my Lord. Where is the battery, Max? We got terminals.
I kept jumping it in the field and it broke off.
He kept jumping it like Dad says. Not to jump it. Battery must have come out, dangle, dangle, and broke. Just bought that battery, not buying another one. Well, here's the battery we found in the field. It's obviously ripped off. We are going to attempt to fix this battery. We're going to disconnect these. All right, we're going to attempt to fix this battery by melting it down with a butane torch. Going to cut this copper down, throw it over like that, cut that in half, fill this thing right in with some new solder. You got to have rosin, core solder, or some flux. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the bolts in like that, then put this over it. That will be halfway down, fill the whole thing with solder, and that should work. All right, just confirm the bolts I got are the right size. I use the 7/16 head bolt. A little thicker so they don't snap off, because we're going to have the terminals coming up now. These are the ones that come with the machine, or the batteries, and then they got the little square doobie down in there. So we're just going to make it a little better system, a little taller. I think the height won't bother me. We should be good in there. I'll double check that, but we're going to attempt to save this battery. I don't know if I can or not, but I'm not spending this money. We've been dumping money into this thing left or right for him, and this is like whatever. These batteries now are $100. Craziness. Get this off. There's a big chunk of lead there. Might be able to reuse that lead and just melt it down into itself. Big chunk right there. All right, I got everything cut down. I got my bolts cut down to size that I want. They were a little too long. We got to make these heads so they fit down, so we'll melt in there a little bit. I got some Play-doh that I had found in the kids' room that once I get around here, if it starts to leak out there, I'll pack it with Play-doh, but I don't know if it will. But I don't know.
How will Play-doh stick on?
I don't know if it will. I've seen... You know how they weld stuff on railroad tracks and stuff? They use like clay or putty or something, but I don't have that. I thought this would work, but that's a pretty good fit right there. So it might work out. We'll see.
What about that one?
We're gonna straighten that one out. Right now, we're gonna melt it.
To turn it?
Yep. That will work right there. Just making this bigger in the bottom, scraping away so that new screw has something to bond to and fits perfect. We just ground down the heads on those to a little more square shape, just so they fit in better. See if we get this in better. May have to go a little more. Nope, there we go. Perfect. Find its home. We got our flux. I'm going to come over here and throw some flux in here all around the bolt. We got bolts in right now where we want them. Hang on, Max. Be a good cameraman. Come over here. Get some flux around there. And now, the battery's going to want to melt a little bit, but it's got to get hot.
I hope this works.
All right, we just did a test and tried to melt the Play-Doh and it doesn't melt, so we're gonna put it, we got these tight. They're ugly, but they're tight right now. It took a while for that solder to really adhere. We're gonna put this on the plastic down below and around the surrounding.
Don't touch the solder, Dad.
And then we're gonna try to fill that solder. The solder's not flowing. It's electrical solder. I don't know. And I got that torch. I just don't. I don't know. I'm good with soldering with a soldering iron, but using this thing, I don't know. It kind of blows it out of the way. So I was wondering if I heat the heck out of this with a soldering iron, would that work? But we got to fill this whole void now. Once that's in there, we'll see what happens. I don't know. This may be a bust. All right, there's my Play-Doh. We're gonna slap that in there like so. Play-Doh will be on the bottom, and all we need to do is get around that whole nut like that, and that might work. I don't know. Like I said, if I could fill in with like this solder, like you would use pipes in a house, copper pipes, but I'm not sure. This is not good for electrical, they say. I'm gonna do some Googling right now because that will melt a lot faster and better, but we'll find out. Here's the other one. Just cut these down a little bit more so we have more heads sticking up. That's looking good. Looking good. Just wrapping some solder around a drill bit or whatever you got. You could use a fat screwdriver or punch just to save some time. Slap it in there like so. We'll do that to the other one. Hey.
Now it's bubbling. Pretty cool.
We're using the regular pipe solder because that's what is working better.
Wow. That's cool. Dad, I think it hardened.
Oh yeah. I think that's gonna work. I think that's gonna work. We're gonna find out, I can tell you that. So I took the regular rosin solder just to get around here for the electrical connection itself. Then we had to fill it in with some plumbing because it's a big void and we needed it to flow because we're heating the battery too hot and we were melting the plastic a little bit. But that's where we're at. We're gonna do this one now. All right, we made another circle. We're just gonna put it around this, stuff it in there, and this is the electrical one. We'll get it in there nice and tight and then let it melt in and then follow up with the plumbing solder. Set this on automatic this time. That way I don't have to hold it. Set it there and I can feed the solder in. And I'll feed both in as I go. my Play-doh away. And you can see it didn't really
stick
the battery. I thought that was going to melt that battery a lot worse, but it didn't. We had a lot of heat in there. And these are, I got a little solder on there. Hopefully that comes off. You could always melt it back off. This piece right here.
You already got that.
Alright. These are on. I mean, they are on. Watch. Pick the battery up by the terminals. They're on. And they're hot. Wow, they're hot. Woo! Making sure these go on still. The bolts or the nuts. Good there. Perfect. Let's install her. Alright, we're going to throw the battery in. What do we got here? This one's going to go here. This is negative. I think you bent the terminals, dude.
Oh, sugar.
I think you bent the terminals. Let's
sure?
get this on. Yeah, I could straighten them out, though. Let's get this on. Let's see where that's our negative. Here's our positive. Get the positive out here. Let's see here. Yeah.
Did I bend the negative one?
You bent this one, but I think that's gonna be fine and we'll still fit in, yes. All right, so there's our positive. I can bend them back, but we're gonna see if it even works first.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna bend this so we don't have any issues.
Make sure you don't break it off.
Yeah, you already tried that. Nice. Leave that loose for now. All right, just snugging down the positive. Negative's already in. Straightened out the terminals. That's pretty tight. It's pretty tight. Battery is in. You can see this is bent somehow, but we'll bend that back up and maybe throw a bungee on here. This used to have a piece of rubber that went up and hooked to somewhere, but you know, old quad rubber that don't last. All right, we're all hooked up, ready to go. What we got, Max?
Grand finale.
Grand finale. We're excited. Turn the key, see if we got power first. Oh! Oh, I don't know if I got his face expression on the camera. Choke it up. Start it up. Are you kidding me?
It works.
Who's the best dad? Unchoke it. Go ahead. Give it some gas. Huh? Who's the best dad?
You. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Whoa, we almost lost a 10 millimeter. You know that's gonna be gone. 10 millimeter, can't ever find those. All right, what a fix, what a success. I'm actually excited to save myself $100. All right, guys, that was a success. Thumbs up.